Good evening and hello friends. Today is 2nd October, the Gandhi Jayanti. Fine. So just wanted to share some slides with you, some of my research on this Gandhi Jayanti. We celebrate Gandhi Jayanti and we remember the Gandhi. But what were his thoughts? For what thoughts his thoughts were there? It's only to celebrate the Gandhi Jayanti or to just observe the day, okay? And to on the WhatsApp, we are on the status, we have to put the Gandhi's pictures, the three monkeys picture we have to share. No, has Gandhi was not a picture to be shared, but Gandhi is a thought. Gandhi is himself a Mahatma, which we call him, and his deeds, his thoughts has brought a lot of to us, but we have forgot it. In my today's presentation, I would like to share with you Gandhian thoughts in terms of economics, and it's an one branch coming up that is called as an Gandhian economics. I would share with you the presentation. Based on it, I will try to make you understand. So Mahatma Gandhi's today 2nd October. Okay, it's an homage to our father of nation. 2nd October 1869 he was born in Porbandar, we all know, and today we are celebrating the Gandhi Jayanti. My topic of today's presentation will be Gandhian economics, a study on Gandhian economic thoughts by myself, Dr. Farid F. Khoja, principal. If you like my presentation and if you think that some of my thoughts or the Gandhian thoughts presented in terms of economics are good and you find this video good, please like, share and subscribe my channel. The abstract of my research is that Mahatma Gandhi was the father of our nation. He was not any academician, but he was a charismatic leader for the Indian struggle. He got India free from the Britishers empires with only two weapons. That was one weapon was non-violence, another one was truth. Gandhiji was not an economist, but his thoughts, his ideas, his way of living can be taken as an economics. And Gandhian economics was not any subject, or you can't say that the Gandhiji has written on economics or Gandhian thoughts as presented in his own articles, in his own newspapers which he used to publish, and some of the books written by the prominent authors on Gandhiji can be consolidated and one branch can become up, that is Gandhian economics. So his economic ideas mainly were based on the principles, three basic principles. One is truth, satya, non-violence, ahimsa, and non-possession. That is aparigraha. Okay, that means he used to say that this materialistic world is not required. You should not, sangrah nahi kariye. Okay, so you should not accommodate. Okay. The second, I would say that Gandhian economics is an thought or philosophy developed at a time to time. When we speak of an Gandhian economics, his economic thoughts were developed mainly in three phases. The first phase was up to 1919, which we can say is a negative phase, during which he criticized the Western pattern of economic development and adopted non-materialistic attitude, which he embodied in his book Hind Swaraj in 1909. Second phase was the positive phase from 1919 to 1934, during which he developed an alternative method of economic problems of Western economics, and his respect of that he gave Swadeshi approach. That was in his second phase. And the third phase was the constructive phase, we can say, 1934 to 1948, and where he became well practical and he thought or focused on village and village industries, rural agrarian economy, and put forward the idea of Sarvodaya. So now I'll come to Gandhian economics and what were his based on his Gandhian economic thoughts, we can come up with an economics. First one is Satya, Ahimsa, and law of nature. His economics or his thoughts used to propose two things. Whatever you do, there should be truth in it and there should be non-violence. According to Gandhiji, if any activity is being done, it should not lead to violence. And again, it should not be against the law of nature. That means it should not disturb the economy. Okay, so Gandhian economics first principle was Satya, Ahimsa, and law of nature. So any economic activity if you do, okay, fine. Our this modern thoughts of economics will not agree with it. Okay, our modern thought says that the human wants. We have demand supply approach. Fine. What is the market? Marketarian economics we have, but his economics was of Satya, Ahimsa, non-violence, and law of nature. Second, he used to say of decentralization. He proposed some of the industries like cottage industry, village industry, home industry, and khadi industry. And he differentiated it. He proposed like Gandhiji preferred that the technology and the production should be done as per the needs of the people. And whatever is produced should be shared with each other. He used to believe that machine should be there if and only if for production the hands are few. But if hands are more, any production techniques, then machine should not take place of it. And for this he proposed the khadi industry. He proposed for the charkha, and he used to say that charkha is the symbol for the growth. Okay, and he brought up the charkha spinning, and based on it he used to say that you produce your own clothes, and with this he was trying to bring up employment. Third, his basic was village sarvodaya, where he used to say that what type of an ideal village there should be. He said that all the economic activities should be concentrated to the village, and he believed that real India in villages, and therefore he proposed rural agrarian economic as his Sarvodaya principle, that is Gram Swaraj. The fourth doctrine, which is the most important doctrine, that is trusteeship. We all are trustees. He said that accumulation of wealth he will never. He said that accumulation, if you are wealthy, if you are rich, that means the God has made you trustee, and you have to share, you have to help the others. So he was against the capitalist system of economics. Okay, his economics was of trusteeship, doctrine of trusteeship. He wanted that we all should help each other. We should have an, if we are rich, cannot accumulate wealth without the cooperation of the poor in the society. Fine. The fifth one was, his principle was law of bread, labor and labor welfare. He was very much inspired by T.M. Bendere and the popularized by Ruskin and Tolstoy. And according to this law, he used to say that man earn his bread by his own labor. He used to say that you should put your labor and earn your bread. Gandhiji's law of labor related to agriculture and agrarian economy was self. Sixth principle was, as per Gandhian economics, is simplicity and Swadeshi. And at present, we are also hearing loud voices are coming of Atmanirbhar, but it's Gandhiji's thought. Simplicity. He used to say that you wear the clothes how much you require. Your needs should be limited. You should not have the unlimited wants. But our economic starts with an unlimited wants. Our economic theory starts with it. He used to say, live the simple life. He always stressed on simple and playful life with love for human being and nature and welfare of the society. He adopted Swadeshi. That was his sixth principle. So in Gandhian economic thoughts, when we want to consolidate, a very nice book is being written, Gandhian economic thought by Dr. J.C. Kumarappa. And based on it, we can come up and we can just compare that how the Gandhian economics in context of modern economics. Gandhian economics were trying to bring the concept of what is right and wrong, and all economic activities to be done based on truth and non-violence. While modern economics is based on assumption that economic theories are formed in absence of real situation. And Gandhian economics was considering real factors. Modern economic theories are of wealth accumulation, wealth generation. There are three economic systems developed by them: capitalist, socialist, and mixed. While Gandhian economics was welfare center. Okay, aparigraha. He used to say that their needs should be limited. So all the three in one in his economic thought. Modern economics has three, but he said all the three in one, only in one, that was welfare economics. And his three principles of truth, non-violence, and aparigraha. If you understand these three words, Gandhian economics is clear. I would like to conclude my this session by just putting few things on the slide, which you can see that Gandhian economic system comprises of holistic economic structure and non-violent methods of production and distribution. The economic systems not only mitigates the evils of present economic system, but also eradicate economic problems like poverty, peace, and prosperity. Thus, it would not be an exaggerate statement from me that Gandhiji was an economist and a monk. Yeah, who gave the economic system, particularly for India, which would avoid misery and suffering. For that, he built up the ashrams. His concept of building up ashram was to that a pedal rickshaw fellow Ahmed should now drive auto rickshaw. So he was of that type. Gandhian economic principles lead to the standard of values instead of standard of living. We worry for standard of living, but he used to say standard values of life. So Gandhian thoughts are the Gandhian economics. In my presentation, I tried to cover some of the Gandhian thoughts and some of his basic principles, which can be taken as Gandhian economics, and more research and more understanding can be done. If you read Gandhiji, I think a change will come in you. This was some of my references through which I tried to come up on this presentation. And Gandhiji is not a person to be celebrated on a single day, but he is a person to live. His thoughts are to be taken in the life and to be followed. Thank you.